God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Yeah, yeah, yeah. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So welcome back, everybody. We have Kathy. Dr. Maureen is coming. So just so you know, I don't know that she heard me, but there you go. So, I can take this off. I'm socially distanced. All right. Good to see you. Yeah, here we are. How about that? Human beings. All right. So welcome. I think we're all, well, at least I know everyone here, and you'll all get to know each other as we go along here. So please help me welcome our presider this morning, Reverend Nancy Woods, who is also our assistant minister. All right. So let's just start by taking a deep, conscious breath and release as we allow ourselves to surrender to this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. Now, fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as Reverend Nancy lights the reopening candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the 10th candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives and for the space we hold for them here at our center. And as Reverend Nancy lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own souls. There is one flame, one light within.
Recognizing this light within. That's what we're here for. We're here to know and to understand that the spiritual presence of life has guided each and every one of us to this place and this time. So in that recognition and in the idea that the infinite intelligence within each and every one of us is guiding and directing our lives, we are able to experience and know that that which is coming to us is the blessings of the universe. Therefore, we know that each and everything that unfolds in this hour that we spend together enriches us, lifts us up to a higher vibration of being, to know and understand and appreciate the joy of life itself. And so as I know that that spiritual presence has brought each one here, as I know that each and every thing that unfolds is a word of spirit saying yes to life, I embrace this idea of the wonder and the beauty of spirit itself. I am really rejoicing in the idea and understanding that that infinite intelligence is what's in charge of the whole experience. And I really feel that the energy in this place is the energy of love. This is how beauty and love and joy unfolds and manifests itself. And I can rejoice in knowing that this moment is really a blessing for not just myself, for each individualized expression of spirit here this morning. So with that in mind, with that understanding, with that sense of appreciation, I embrace each one and welcome you to join me in this loving energy and this awareness as we say together, and so it is. Good morning, everybody. Y'all, you know, when you stood up here for 16 months and looked at that camera, looking at your faces, it's like heaven sent. Thank you all for being here. The difference in this energy is amazing to feel and understand and experience. I mean, I can feel it coming towards me. Thank you for being here. And actually, that's what I was moved to share today, is my appreciation and understanding for this wondrous community that we are experiencing. I know and understand that this community is a community of love. I know it's a community that understands and appreciates what it is to support and nurture each other, to feel the sense that we are all in this together. And this wondrous spiritual journey that we are on is not only blessing ourselves, but blessing all the people around us. And as we do this and we understand that, we realize that this gestation period that we just went through, that 16 months of gestation, was an opportunity for us to Get ready to birth a new awareness and a greater awareness of who and what we are. To know and understand that as we do this, we not only bless ourselves, but we bless society itself. We know and understand the power of knowing the truth and living it and expressing it and sharing it. And this community is about that. This community is about knowing and understanding spirit and what it does, what it gives us, what it offers us, and the opportunity for us to be an impact on humankind in all kind, not just humankind, any kind, the earth, the animals, and everything in it. We are the light of the universe in expression. So as we recognize this, as this, this 16 months gave us a chance to just kind of sit in that and understand that and realize that. I'm excited because as we go forth from it, what are we going to birth? What are we going to give forth? This is a true evolutionary time for us as humankind, because I think the newness of being alive today and the wonder of being able to step into the newness of life has been touched inside of every one of us. We know, we appreciate it, we embrace it, we love it. We are ready to let it bloom. And I wanted to also make sure I thank Reverend Mike, because from the time he'd been here, he kept saying, we are community, we are community. And we are a community. And that community, we are sharing with each other, and we are birthing the idea and blooming it. It's not what we are sharing with our people around us, not just in here, but out there too. So welcome to this new beginning. There is only now. There is only now. What was before is just a thought. But what we are birthing is our new beginning. And I thank you for sharing this with us. I thank everybody for coming, and thank you for this wondrous opportunity to look in the faces of God all around me. I don't have to imagine it anymore. I think it just in my thoughts, I can look at it. I can feel it, because I feel your love. I feel your energy. And I feel the wonder of being on this wondrous journey of life. Spirit is awesome, you guys. It is awesome. And thank you for allowing me to share that.
We were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. But ere the bonny boat was warm, as we sailed into the misty air. And hark now, hear the sailors cry, smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly into the misty air. And when that foghorn blows, I will be coming home. When that foghorn blows, I wanna hear it, but I don't wanna fear it now. I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And magnificently we will flow into the mystic. And together we will flow into the mystic. Yeah, yeah. Oh, into the mystic. Yeah, yeah. To the mystic. Into the mystic. Fog gon' blow, we will be coming home. Yeah, when that fog gon' blows, I wanna hear it, but I don't wanna fear it now. Yeah, yeah, I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And together we will flow into the mystic. Yeah, yeah. And together we will sail into the mystic. Thank you. It's lovely to see you all.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just sailed into the mystic. I love the way you made that your own, Ken, and yet it was familiar, of course, but you really owned that. That was beautiful. Thank you. Let's give him some more love. Wow, there's people here. It's so great to see you all. You are most welcome here. Welcome to our Sunday 10:30 service. I'd like to welcome our new friends from Santa Clarita, Margie and Jane, right? Is that right? Yes. Thank you so much for being here. And let me say a special welcome to Reverend Mike's Uncle Terry. You're most welcome here as well. So we welcome all who practice their faith and belief in love, right? And we are happy that you're here with us today, joining us. It's wonderful to have people back here in person. And as your board president, I want to thank you all for sustaining us during this past 16 months. I mean, we have managed to thrive, continue to thrive, and it's because of your generosity. And I'd just like to say thank you for that. And I would also like to say that if you're drawn towards membership, we welcome you with open arms. We have a couple of ladies in the back of the room who are our membership chair people. They're waving their hands if you want to turn around and see who they are so you know. And we would welcome you into our community as members. Also, if you would like support in prayer, which is a lot of what we do here, you can find a practitioner to support you at cslgh.org. That's our website. We also have Zoom fellowship at 11:45 this afternoon. Wayne, are you facilitating? And yet here you are. So Wayne will be facilitating that. You know, I also want to say thank you to Rev, because right when this pandemic hit, we were on it. We were online. We had Zoom fellowship services. We transferred a lot of our groups to online, classes online, but we are going to be beginning to open up slowly but surely. So check that out also on our website. The Law of Attraction group continues to meet online. They're meeting July 11th at 1 o'clock. Mike Carland, who is our tech person in the back, is in charge of that, and you can email him at michaelcarland5@gmail.com for the link to that. Healing Support Group continues to meet online, and they are meeting on July 11th at 1 o'clock. You can contact Reverend Jessica for information about the link to that, or you can find it online also. Reverend Maureen is starting a class called Prosperity Potpourri, and it's going to be online and in person with a limited number of people. The first 20, I believe, to sign up will be able to meet in person. Otherwise, it will also be on Zoom, I expect, correct? And that is beginning July 20th at 6:30. So you can, there's information about that online, I imagine, or you can talk to Reverend Maureen after service outside in the back or in the front. We're not meeting for coffee and cake like normal in Sparks Hall like we used to do, but hopefully we'll be able to do that again soon. And we do have a spring fling, which is now our fall fling, that is taking place on October 2nd. The theme is denim and diamonds. And we've been waiting a long time to have this happen. We've been planning it since before the pandemic. And it was going to be a spring fling, but now it's going to be a fall, fantastic.
Outlaws Ball.
What did he say?
Outlaws Ball.
Outlaws Ball, okay.
Bring your own mask.
Bring your own mask. Cute. Okay, that was supposed to be funny, everybody, so join in laughter. There you go. So let me just say again, you're most welcome if you're new here for the first time. If you're visiting from other centers, you're most welcome to be here and make this your spiritual home. We'd love to have you, and we're happy you're here, and it's just wonderful to see you all. So thank you for being here.
Don't we have some wonderful leadership? Okay, so it's time for our declaration of principles. We believe in one universal spirit manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe in the universal spirit is personal too and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe in our faith operates upon a law of mind which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life, the immortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the giveness of life to all.
We live the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the blood wash over us. We let it be. of peace wash over us. We let it be.
All right. Wow. There really are people here. Masks and all. Yeah, it is different, isn't it? In the best of ways. And we haven't forgot about you online as well. And so when we say thank you, it really is to our entire community, those of you who've been so faithful in joining us and sustaining our spiritual community through this through these weird times, right? So if Jerry Garcia only knew what was coming down the pipe. So today's talk title is pulled by vision. That is our monthly theme. Today's talk title is actually, We Hold These Truths. We hold these truths. So I felt like it was an appropriate way to come back on July 4th. So I did the calculation. It's been 475 days since we were last in the room together. Yeah, 475 days. And still, let's not fool ourselves. Let's not fool ourselves with beliefs we want to be true versus truth itself. We may want this thing to be completely over with, but we're not there yet. We're there. We're working towards it. We're almost there. So, but not quite back to normal yet. So if we continue to practice a consciousness of good health, both as an individual and as public, public health is consciousness too. As we continue to practice good health, we together as community, as a city, as a state, as a nation, as a global community, that we can live and call forth the great possibility that we can make something better, that we can co-create something better in this post-pandemic world. Now, as people of faith, and especially those of us who practice this philosophy we call religious science or the science of mind and spirit, we have before us an opportunity like never before in human history to really call this forth. For we have within us an innate knowing that with the infinite power and presence of the living intelligence and the creative impulse of the Spirit, we can co-create together a world that truly does work for all. Not simply for the majority, but for all. And so I think it is appropriate that we reopen the center, even it is by sticking our toe in the water a little timidly at first. And we have been cautious in that way because our place is so much smaller than these larger houses of worship. But I think it is appropriate that we are open today on this Independence Day, the actual day of independence, a day that not only honors the succession of the colonies from Great Britain, but also calls us to review the vision statement from which this great experiment in government has been founded. And make no mistake about it, the Declaration of Independence is a vision statement. It is a vision statement. It is a statement of ideals and values for what a government should look like and how its people should be treated. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, rights that cannot be taken away and are in there from the start, from before the sun. From before the sun, we're sailing into the mystic with these unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it goes on to say that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. We create that. We together create that, deriving their just powers from where? The consent of the governed. Now you have to place this in its time. This was at the end of the 18th century. Pretty radical idea, because they still believed in the divine right of kings. And along with the divine right of kings, the aristocracy that supported it, that also thought they had kind of a divine thing going on, just by virtue of where they were born, right? Or as Warren Buffett would call it, the Lucky Sperm Club. Truly. He said that. I'm just repeating what he said. Now, I'm not going to read the whole document here today, but I do encourage you all to do just that, either later today or tomorrow. It actually doesn't take long reading the Declaration of Independence. So this bar was set really high by men, by propertied white men who had a lot at stake. Now, make no mistake, these guys were the colonial aristocracy within the colonial system. Now, if they went to England, they'd just be colonials. Right? But here, these guys, they were super educated in the classics, in the Greek classics, the Greek and Latin classics. And of course, we've heard about the slave owners and their role in producing these documents and these earlier, the so-called founding fathers. But we mustn't forget that the cotton that was produced by these slaveholders, where was it being sold? To the northern mills in New England and in England itself. So, the slave economy greased the economic engine of colonial life. Right? And so we have to own that too. We have to own that too. So it's not just those Southerners down there, but also those of us who were buying, I should say, our ancestors who were buying these goods. So it's a complicated, I'm not even calling it wrong or anything like that, except to say, outside of being morally reprehensible, that in its day, this is the system as it emerged. Yet knowing this history, it makes the document, I think, even more significant, because it seems like the Virginians who composed it subconsciously knew that what they were doing and how they were living was out of integrity. That you cannot own human beings and still remain human yourself. And so it's like they kind of codified it a little bit in this declaration without even knowing they were doing so, but maybe knowing in the back of their minds that this was for posterity. So it's a document that aspires, right? So calls us to be something greater. It aspires as well as inspires citizens to design a more perfect union, as the Constitution would later stipulate. Based on the guiding principles of liberty through the practice of democracy. And these democratic ideals are reflected in many areas of modern life today. So take any business meeting, right? Take how many times do we vote? Even who's going to bat first, right? You take a vote, right? Take any business meeting, and of course, a just democracy is judged by those who are included as well as those who are excluded. So that's part of the dynamic. This is stuff we're still working on today. And so we emerge from these last 475 days acknowledging that a lot has happened since we last met. A lot has happened. And though it feels as though in many ways we are more entrenched, even siloed into our little tribes than even before the pandemic, there is much discord and distrust and people shouting over each other rather than communicating. But if we are to survive as a community of people, whether it's a family, a spiritual community, a city, a state, a nation, a planet, we are going to have to find our way back to the center. We're going to have to find our way back out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field, Rumi said. I'll meet you there. And so we find our way back to center, to truth. Now, Ernest Holmes in the textbook said, in our ignorance of the truth, we have misused the highest power we possess. And so great is this power, so complete is our freedom in it, so absolute the domain of law through it, that the misuse of this power has brought upon us the very conditions from which we suffer. The misuse of power has brought forth the very conditions from which we suffer. Now, this is true for the individual, and it's true for the co-creative experience that we call race consciousness, this world experience that we are co-creating together. And so there's a place within this for self-responsibility, right? And even an acknowledgement of some hard work as well. For to shift the tendency of our thought, let's just start there without having to lift anything in the physical world. Just to change the tendency of our thought takes a lot of work, takes a lot of practice, takes a lot of remembering. Oh yeah, I don't think that way anymore, even though I may just have. So it's not about judging so much as it is observing and releasing and embracing a new way of being. Ernest Holmes had tremendous faith in people and their ability to overcome error through spiritual practice. He himself lived through some pretty crazy stuff. World War I, the Roaring '20s, the 29 financial collapse, World War II, the atom bomb. Now think about what we think. Think about what we teach. The atom bomb, Korea, and in August of 1960, his second radio address on this thing called life, he presented a lecture entitled Spiritual Armament. Spiritual armament. So in light of the things that I've just shared with you, and whatever buttons they pushed within you, right? Because, hopefully somebody got their button pushed, right? It seems fitting to remember this, that he started out by saying it is democracy which alone, which can give freedom to the world and make possible a realization of the great hope of humanity. In this effort, we should all unite. Now, he was speaking specifically, they were arming at that time, they were arming for the Korean War. And this talk has to do with that, and of course it's the nascent, what do you call it? United Nations and the way that democracies were kind of working around all this. Now, we have the benefit of history to think about whether that was, prudent or not. But in real time, it is democracy which alone can give freedom to the world and make possible the realization of the great hope of humanity. And in this effort, we should all unite. And this time is no different. Because religious science is about taking action, first in thought, and then we're directed to take some action. So we treat and move our feet. We treat and move our feet. And citizenship, too, is about action. I'm not a U.S. citizen. I was born in Britain and I hold a green card. And I want to tell you, it is not easy to become a U.S. citizen. It's not. It's not just a test, right? They want to know all your dirty laundry and you have to provide proof that it's not dirty anymore, which is the part that's held my thing up for a while, even through the pandemic. I don't know when I got divorced the first time. Come on, give me a break. I was barely sober. It's not easy to become a U.S. citizen, and I think people take citizenship and the responsibilities that go with it, I think they take it for granted, frankly. But freedom is something that is won with difficulty and kept only through eternal vigilance, Holmes says. And what does freedom really mean? As it works through the only instrument that can maintain its purpose, and that is, Holmes says, the instrument of government, other than the idea that all people are created equal before God, that every man and now every woman is an individual in their own right, and that each should have the privilege of self-expression provides his desires do not infringe on the rights of others. That democracy, Holmes says, is a great cooperative enterprise through which this is made possible. So not only is Holmes down with democracy, but he's also acknowledging that we co-create this thing called government together, and its implication is that it is a divine idea expressing. He goes on to say, this is a much longer thing, but I jumped around the parts that were specific to its time, because I think these passages are for us today. He says the great lesson that life is trying to teach us is that we are all rooted in God, but each is an individualized center of divine being. That we are, each one of us, an individualized center of divine being. We have what Emerson called unity at the center and variety at the circumference. Right? And of course, we're all engaged in this enterprise of being centered in the Spirit, recognizing the variety at the circumference, playing hide and seek with Spirit itself, trying to see the face of God in all the myriad demonstrations of life, within our own perceptions, within our own biases, within our own stuff, within our own peaceful heart or the lack thereof. So Holmes had his stuff, right? World War I, World War II, the big collapse, the Depression, the atom and all that stuff. Even in 1960, he would have seen Sputnik as well. And all the scary stuff around that. I'm one of those who was diving under desks in the 60s. I remember that because I lived near a big SAC base in the Air Force. So he had his stuff. Whatever's going on right now is our stuff. This is ours to do. right? I think some of us thought in 68 when we were out there, I wasn't, I was watching you guys march on the college campuses and doing your wild and crazy thing. I caught up with you in the 70s and 80s, though. Right? Maybe we thought that was done, but this is ours to do now, and there's a lot to do. And it's time to come out of our silos and to find our way to the center, to that unity at the center, and acknowledge the variety at the circumference. But he goes on to say that unity does not mean uniformity. Unity means a oneness of purpose. Unity means what is best and safe for the majority without losing sight of each individual member and the location in it. That which has been born in faith must be kept through faith. That which was born in faith must be kept in faith. And you and I should, now Holmes is shoulding on us here, you and I should form the habit of taking definite time each day to pray for peace with justice. To pray for peace with justice. For there is no peace without justice. We should take time each day to pray, to know and to meditate on the thought that our leaders everywhere are being guided by the all-sustaining wisdom and upheld by the all-sustaining power of good. And we should pray. We should pray for our own minds that we shall not be confused. But faith without works is dead. That's not a new idea. James said that a couple thousand years ago. Faith without works is dead. We should not only pray, we should act. Each contributing the best we have to offer to the common purpose. The common purpose of establishing life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for everyone. So take a breath on that with me. And exhale out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing. There is a field, and I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other don't make any sense. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the doorsill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. So I'm going to leave this with you with Holmes, that I know that divine intelligence governs the destiny of the United States of America, directing the thought and the activity of all who guide its affairs. Let's breathe into that and release. I know that success, prosperity, and happiness are the gifts of this freedom and are the divine heritage of everyone in this country. Let's breathe into that. And release. I know that success, prosperity, and happiness are now operating in the affairs of every individual in this country. Let's take a breath. I know that divine guidance enlightens the collective mind of the people of this country, causing it to know that economic security may come to all without the loss of either personal freedom or individual self-expression. So I know further that for everyone within this spiritual community, whether you're present here in the sanctuary today or joining us online today or further in the week, that there is but one power, one presence, one source, one life, one living intelligence, one infinite heart of the divine that is both impressing and expressing in, through, and as all of life, in, through, and as your life. And so I invite you to call forth within your own heart that which you need to sustain you in this day and in this week, that allows you to practice the pursuit of happiness, that allows you to express a sense of liberty that sustains not only yourself, but those around you. To understand and to know that the living Spirit is upon you and expressing in, through, and as your life, in, through, and as my life. So we take a deep breath and we just release all this to that aspect of the mind of the divine itself, that aspect of unconditional love that appears to be impersonal in the universality of that love, that we release it with deep gratitude and confidence, knowing that it is done, knowing that it's so. And so it is.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, Redwood Forest, to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me the endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Yeah, this land was made for you and me. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on the sign it said, no trespassing, yeah. But on the other side, it didn't say nothing. That side was made for you and me. In the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people. By the relief office, I've seen my people as they stood there hungry. I stood there asking, is this land made for you and me? But no one can stop me, no, never stop me. As I go walking that freedom highway, nobody living can make me turn back. 'Cause this land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Yes, this land was made Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Yeah. I got to see a lot of this land a few weeks ago up in northern Cal. Be careful with, if you got fireworks, be careful with them. You know, wait until the winter when it's raining. You know, it's a tinderbox throughout the state. I wanted to point out these beautiful flowers and thank the the consciousness of the flower girls and the men who support them. And and I also wanted to give a thanks and a shout out to Ken, to Mike Carlin, to Evan, Jason, who's not here today, Reverend Nancy, for really doing a fantastic effort for this last year and a half. Yeah. As we've done this thing online, and it has been very odd, and so I'm sorry if I forgot you online. It's just not used to having people in the room anymore, but we'll work on that next week. I also wanted to thank the people who were being of service today, doing check the temp and getting a little sanitizer and keeping everybody masked and distance and so forth, and all of you for cooperating with that. And we're just going to continue to do this until we feel like, until we get the all clear, that which will basically be probably a masks optional call whenever that happens. But we got to let this variant do whatever it's going to do. And I also want to give a shout out for the SEVA team yesterday that came in. Reverend Nancy pulled some folks together. So Debbie was here, Wayne was here. Help me out, everybody. Jonna was here. Thank you. So our board president was here. Andrea was here. And I'm probably forgetting somebody, but the reason why the place looks like Nancy Shriver-Dyer. So the reason why it no longer looks like a bachelor's lived here for the last year and a half is because they came to the church and cleaned up after me. So I'm very grateful for that. All right. So now it's time for our offering. If you're joining us online, you know how to get to us by now, either through our website. There's a donate button. There's a Facebook button. There's even a link to PayPal on the YouTube channel. Just hit that. It'll take you to PayPal. And just know that we we're so appreciative for your continued support. And of course, bill pay is a great way to go, or you can continue to mail your donations into the center. So we're going to give some time online for the folks to do that. If you have brought a gift today and you would like to bring it up to the offering basket, just do the distance thing and just kind of stay away from each other until you get up and down. And or Andrea can pick it up for you. All right. So, offering song, please.
Spirit gives from me, Spirit receives from me, Spirit lives and breathes from me, Spirit lives and breathes from me, Spirit gives through you, Spirit receives through you, Spirit lives and breathes through you. Spirit lives and breathes through you. Spirit gives through us. Spirit receives through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us. Yeah.
So going within for just a moment longer, recognizing and knowing that the gifts presented here this morning, by whatever avenue they have made it to the center, that this basket is simply representing the reception of your good. And so from the generous heart of the individual, we representing the heart of the spiritual community here in the room and online, we accept these gifts with deep respect and love as we know together they go forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless not only the vision and mission of this center, but anyone connected to this center in any way. That we extend these glad tidings and this blessing upon our community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them, for our planet as well, that all of it, that we understand that all of it is an emanation of the divine in expression. And to the extent that we know this to be so, we see it demonstrating in ways great and small. This lifts our hearts and propels us and empowers us into ways of spiritual living that raise not only ourselves, but those around us as well. And that's a good thing. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. And I do want to give Reverend or Dr. Maureen one more shout out. So look forward in the constant contact for Prosperity Potpourri. It's 4 agreements, energy of money, Edwin Gaines, Dr. Maureen Hoyt, 4 kingdoms of consciousness, the Sutton work. And so, and you won't find a better teacher or a more prosperous consciousness to teach it. So look for that. Reverend Nancy, pray us out. Let's thank Ken one more time. Mike and Evan in the back. Good to have you all with us today. Oh, and we're exiting by whatever door, so please clear the room, and we can visit outside. There's seats out there. All right? Okay, good.
It's truly with a consciousness of appreciation that I stand here expressing my heartfelt gratitude for all the support, all the nurturing, all the blessing, for the wonder and the beauty of spirit which has brought us together today. It is with my heartfelt love that I say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be and to share, be in your lives and to share the understanding and awareness that the Spirit that has created all is that which is bringing forth this experience today. With the joy of knowing that we each are blessed to be in this country and this avenue of expression right here today. Because I realize more than ever that each one of us were guided to be here, right now. And as we let go and let God, we are the avenues to which the greater expression of truth is coming forth to express itself. And I realize that the freedom, true freedom of life, comes from the spiritual presence that is within each and every one of us. And this is the truth that we are about sharing and about giving forth. This is the blessing that we have been gifted in our awareness of its presence. And I feel that this freedom is in each and every one of us. To know it, to embrace it, is to understand and know that that which created all things is that who created each one of us. And the greatness that is in each person, the wonder of it, I embrace and say thank you, because I know that the divine power of the universe is the greatest power that there is. And as Holmes said, this power is present and we can use it. And we have chosen today to know it and use it. As we go forth, we do it moment by moment. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And together we know this by saying, and so it is.
And you're all here, so you can please stand for the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as the power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin